So, what I'd like to, encourage each and every one of us here today, with what we call talking feather. You have the feather, you speak. You don't have the feather, you listen. And so, I would like to pass the feather around this medicine wheel that we have created and hear from you. And we have a scribe and here for volunteering to write down what we say. I'd like to hear two things from each one of us, and if you decide to pass, that's perfectly fine too. But if you have something to identify as an issue that we should target going after here in the city of Flint, let's hear that. And then also, if you know or have a suggestion about what to do about it, right? So, you see a problem, you got a possible solution. That's what I'd like to hear from us each tonight. And we record those things as a way of showing this isn't just an empty gesture for us to have an exercise and, public discussion. I really want to energize us to activate what's within us, to bring about positive change in our community. And I'm wondering what might be stirring in your heart and soul about that. So I pass the talking feather and the medicine wheel, and we welcome your comments.
I received the talking feather, the medicine wheel, and I would say a big concern of mine is the disenfranchisement of our people in our community. Some of the things that I think are some solutions is a lot of our retirees and a lot of people that have moved out of Flint and live in other communities like Flushing and Davidson and Grand Lake come back and help to rebuild our community. I passed to my sister.
And I receive and I hear to listen. So I'm gonna pass it on to Ms.
I would say that the thing that I would like to see would be, or a need I see, is collaboration, more collaboration across the city. Groups like this, I think, are a start to that. I feel that when I sit, Tracy's doing a book read, and people from different areas of the city are beginning to trickle in to those things. What I'd like to see is that increase, attendance more at things like this, that I think simple conversation a lot of times can make a tremendous difference. Just hearing what somebody else has to say, either finding out, gosh, they think exactly like I do, or I never knew that before. So the place for conversation can really be important. So that would be what I would suggest, is to create places where those conversations can take place.
Thank you, I received that. I support my husband in the fact that we are learning that there, as a couple and as individuals, but especially as teachers, there is no they. We are they. And as a daughter of Republicans, being a liberal, that conversation is important. And I agree that needs to definitely be happening, and constructively, allowing for active listening. maybe Thor's hammer rather than a feather. What impressed me about moving to Flint was when we first came 24 years ago, whatever. You were all very proud of your history. You all, even African Americans, you all were very proud of your history. I'm not seeing that now. It's become a very negative place as an outsider. I would like to see some pride coming back into the city. And one of the things that really impressed me the most was that you were all very proud of your immigrant backgrounds. You all were proud of, my family came over to work in the plant, and there was the cultural center, and then there was the international school. I can't remember what it was, but it was over on Chavez, and our son went there a couple times with, with Alpha Montessori, and he learned about different cultures like that. I don't see that at all anymore. And so that is my fear with things changing, immigrants having to fight more. I would like to see that come back, because that's where a lot of my son's friends, a lot of my husband's students and my students learned about different cultures, was that. So that's the time and stuff.
Thank you. Talking further. As you were talking, I was thinking about a line from the Canadian National Anthem. You mentioned Canada a lot. And that line says, "We stand on guard for thee." And I think that's one of the purposes of this conglomerate that we have here, is to stand on guard and keep watch for what may be going on, what has gone on. And one of the things I'm concerned about is Central High and Whittier. There are plans afoot to tear it down, because allegedly there's so much asbestos in it, we couldn't remodel it. Okay. Well, Flint Central was built as Flint Junior Community College, first in the area, I believe, and then Whittier was added on. And Whittier at one point had a gifted program for its children. At the time that the Flint school system was known nationwide for being so avant-garde, people would come in and see what was going on. Something has happened to the Flint public school system. And that's why there are alternative schools. But more importantly, what happens to the community when and if Central High is torn down? Because that asbestos garbage will then go into the air. The vibrations from what has stood there as educational ground will do what? Will they dissipate? Although there are supposedly plans for building a high-tech high school there, where you look around and who's going to go to that? The population has dwindled in Flint for high school. So we need to stand on guard and know as much about this history as we possibly can. And know that people do get dug up, and thank goodness for workers who said, wait a minute, something's wrong here, when they were digging up Carriage Town. So I pass the talking feathers to my friend Don.
Happily accepted. I can't even organize my thoughts, but I'm going to follow up on Mary's. I stand on guard for thee. One of the concerns I have is when something goes wrong in a community, we band together. So the water, suddenly we're all neighbors and we're all friends and we're together. And the minute that thing seems to subside, then we divide again. And we go back to 9/11 and remember how that month or so afterwards where everyone was at peace with everyone else because we were all so shell-shocked. But that's my biggest frustration here and anywhere, that we look at everyone and say, well, you're different from me. We don't look at you and say, you're my neighbor, you're my friend, your family, you are me. And that's what I want. And that's why I joined Neighborhoods Without Borders, and that's why I'm committed to doing this kind of work. And so having people join with us is really helpful in growing a program like this and giving us ideas for next year. We've been very blessed to get some grant money to keep these things going. So, and we don't even know that we need to always do conversations, but other things that could coordinate with them. So I'll just throw that out for other people's ideas. And then I have a small one. I have one that's near and dear to my heart, and that is just protecting our young people, educating them well, preparing them for their future. And I'm working on a program of my own for that. Well, it's a university program, but anyway. But one that's really dear to my heart, and I experienced it this weekend, was it's very rare for communities to have a community theater of color. Just about any community, you're going to find a community theater. But you're not going to see diversity in that community theater, and you're not going to see one that has a mission like the new McCree. And we went, and we were one of maybe 5 or 6 in this beautiful the theater that they're in now. Lovely show. They make a real commitment. They're working hard, and yet our community is not supporting them like they're supporting other arts in the community. And here's a cultural lesson. Here's wonderful family entertainment. Here's all those things that we should be celebrating. And I think because it's not in the cultural center, it's forgotten. And it's been here longer than many of the programs in the cultural center. So so it's those little things that we take for granted that we really need to be supporting, because they do way more than just what was the Louise line, let's put on a show. They do more than that in terms of engaging the talents. Fabulous band, the musicians, everything was just fun community effort. And so I would like to see us recognize and celebrate all the talents in our community. This is a talent-rich town, but we're forgetting somebody, and that goes back to you need to stand on guard for everyone.
I have a very strong concern, given recent events, about we must be very diligent to defend the pursuit of truth through facts, not innuendo. And in that context, defend the First Amendment. Because I think we're going to enter a time when that whole concept is going to be in great flux, maybe greater than we've seen in our lifetimes.
You mean about the First Amendment rights?
Yeah, I think we're
Yes.
I accept the talking further, and I'm gonna space up this. I accept the talking feather, and I would like to express my concern for people whose true description I'm not sure of. They could be called ex-felons, but I believe that the current terminology is returning citizens. My understanding of their return is basically that when they finally are allowed to come back to the community, it's like, goodbye, be good, do your best, see ya. There's no aftercare program for returning citizens. And I think that's probably why the recidivism rate is what it is. We do not prepare them for citizenship in the community. So,
Because many of them are technically no longer citizens.
yes,
They have no voting rights.
Yes. They
And
lose
ship
a
them
lot of
back
their rights.
To the
yes.
same pit that they came out of.
Right. The new Jim Crow has been very informative for me. I'm not very far in reading the book, but Neighborhoods Without Borders is studying this book. It explains a lot. Those are the particular members of the population that I'm concerned about. We have, I don't know how many returning citizens in Flint every year. We need to do something though to help them transition from the life they've known for however long they were incarcerated to so-called freedom. They need to be active too in making sure that they don't lose their rights when they pay their debt to society. After talking to her,
That was very interesting for me to hear about. It sparked a thought that of something I've been thinking about lately, that our justice system, we call it a correction system, but it's actually a punitive system. And it would be nice and interesting if we could in Flint at least work on transforming our system into a justice system in every sense of that word.
It's always harder to come up with something good to say when so many people have already said something very interesting, but I find your points very good, and I just want to add what I've noticed. I've only been living here for a couple of years, and I noticed that Flint could look so much nicer if we took better care of the environment. I live right here in the cultural district, and last summer the city must have gotten some kind of budget to cut down trees, and they spent that budget now. And it would be very nice to see that that people go out there and plant new trees, start community gardens that could provide free food for people, and just maybe turn up parking lots of big abandoned stores to parks and green areas. I think that would add a lot to the vibe of the city, and also could develop some pride. Because if the city looks beautiful, green, you feel good about living here. And that's my
Drop it. I have a lot of issues I'm concerned about, and I kind of hear a consensus coming around in terms of conversations. Hubert talked about bringing the people in from the suburbs back to the community, and we talked about space for conversations. So I just want to second all of that, say amen. And on the issue of McCready Theater, I had the opportunity to sell discounted tickets to Friday night show. Tickets are only $7 for Friday night. If anyone would like to support McCready Theater, please see me.